And then who else followed suit?
They all had goods and bads. All the guys that played, you could tell, pregame, over at the hotel, there was a little bit of nervousness, and you can imagine being 18, being in front of all those people, and I thought they handled it pretty well. The thing that was most pleasing to me was the emotion they were playing with. They made a play, you saw the emotion, and to me, that's what defense is all about. Is playing with enthusiasm and emotion, and I saw right there, and I told them after the game that you can tell they love to play the game. But yeah, Darian played well. They all had goods and bads, all of them. So about what we expected.
Christy over here on the right side.
How difficult is it dealing with all the suspensions on the defense, and are you worried that the first live action in a game for several of those guys is going to be against Alabama?
Well, the good thing is we're going to be fresh, that's for sure. We're going to be injury free, and we're going to be fresh. You think about it a little bit, no doubt, but what may be hurting us now is going to help us in the long run. I know going into when they do get back that we're going to have them all available. They're all going to be healthy. They're all going to be fresh, and we're building depth right now for our future, for the rest of this season. So what might be hurting us right now, in the future, I think is going to help us, and we got to live with that. We got to deal with that.
Over here on the left side, Al.
Coach, what were the biggest issues that your guys were having, especially the first couple of drives when Rice seemed to really have everything working in their favor?
Well, David's a good football coach. That's a good football team we played. I was in that league. They were going to have a chance to win that league. They had 9 returning starters. And I told you guys last week, the fear of the unknown with our young guys. And they did it. They came out and showed us some things that we had not practiced, had not seen, and not having a veteran group, I can't call timeout and run out onto the field and say, hey, they're getting in diamond formation and running 3 levels, or they're getting 3 out into the flat weak. Those are things that we had to get adjusted. I will say this about the guys, which was really good to see. Wasn't really excited about the look in the locker room at halftime, but they took the coaching and came out and we adjusted a little bit, and that was really good to see. I think the game started slowing down for them a little bit as the game went on, which was good.
Go back to Christy over here on the right side.
With the new rule about targeting, do you have to talk to your players a lot about that, or is it just kind of reiterating things that you've already been discussing?
Well, no, we've talked at length. It's the world we live in, and we've told the kids that is the rule. The rules, like it or not, those are the rules. And we've talked to them about lowering their target and bringing their arms. In DeShazer's case, he's got a cast on his hand. So as you look at it, there is one arm around, but he can't, it looks like he's launching because of the cast. That's a flag. That's a penalty. It is what it is. And, we're talking about lowering our target and bringing your arms. And if you do that, then you won't get those penalties.
Over here on the right side, middle.
Hey, Mark, how much are y'all going to focus on tackling this week?
We've been focusing on it quite a bit. We've been focusing quite a bit on it already. Obviously, it'll be a point of emphasis. But them guys are trying to get lined up and strike a target and disengage, and then they got to tackle. That's, and I'm not making excuses for them. I just think that there was a lot on their plate. And by the time contact was made, their backs were pretty big. And we're going to see another big back this week. I think some of that will come as we play more. As I went home and watched college football, everybody's missing tackles across college football. It's the unnecessary evil of the first couple weeks of games because you don't tackle a lot in practice. You try to get everybody to the game. So will we work on it? Yes, without a doubt.
With that much youth on the field, do you kind of have to dumb it down a little bit, for lack of a better word?
You do. And, I felt Saturday I couldn't get in a rhythm. I'm a rhythm kind of guy when I'm calling the game. And boy, we had a lot of moving parts in there, different pieces, and just felt like we couldn't get in a rhythm,
Go to Brent here in the front.
A lot of us wrote in the offseason that Stephen Jenkins was going to be a leader on this defense and so forth, and especially kind of taking over that leadership role at linebacker. Was it particularly disappointing with the news of the suspensions regarding Stephen and the fact that the first time he steps on the field this season is going to be against Alabama.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's more of a question for Coach Sumlin than it is me. I will say this, there have been increased standards and expectations around here, and there's a learning curve, and it's just like our children. If I put a new rule down in my house, and it's going to take my children a while to figure that rule out, just like this targeting rule we're talking about. So there's a little bit of a learning curve there. Is it disappointing? Sure. But, again, everybody's going to want to talk about this Alabama game, and obviously I've had 2 weeks to know about this thing right here, and they've got a bye week. So they've played one game. Our guys will have played none. Okay, so maybe they got a game advantage on us there, but they're still practicing with us. They're still tackling. They're still doing all those things. They're still getting the 2 reps at practice. When you guys see us out there today, those guys that are not playing Saturday will be with the 2 still practicing.
You go seated in the back.
Coach, with the targeting rules that they have, these guys have been playing football, some of them since they were 10. How hard is it to get them to change just the mental and physical aspect of doing?
We just had this I can't believe you brought that up. We just had this conversation 15 minutes ago watching our opponent film because it was last year's film. And I played free safety, and I said to Coach Yates, I said, it happens so fast sometimes that you've been doing it since like you said, you were this little. It's hard to lower your target and go where you normally don't go. There's a degree of difficulty there. But, again, it is the rules, just like the increased standards and expectations of our players. It's the rule. So we are going to have to mentally, as players, visualize myself going lower, not going towards the head. But I think there is a degree of difficulty there without a doubt.
Go to John standing in the back.
Coaches, if you looked at Sam Houston State, what are the challenges you'll see they'll present you Saturday?
Well, they got their quarterback back. Anytime you get your quarterback and your tailback back, you got a chance to be pretty good. They're a good football team. He does a really good job. They are all about making you think. And if they make you think, they have success on offense. And, us being as young as we are, we're going to have our work cut out for us this week.
Got time for a couple more? Suzanne here in the front.
Back to the targeting thing, how much lower do you now tell them to go?
Sternum. Go to the sternum, yeah.
But did you ever tell them to go for the head, or
No.
That's what I thought.
No. We're going through the sternum. We had different verbiage before this rule came out.
Okay.
But now it's the sternum. I'm not a guy that's going to tell them to go blow knees out. That's what scares me about this rule. And I'm not going to coach our guys to go blow somebody's stuff out, blow their knees out. That's somebody's child. That is an alternative with this new rule, but we're not going to go that way. So we talk about hitting them in the sternum.
Go Rusty here on the left.
From a big picture standpoint, does this promote more arm tackling? I mean, for something probably thought otherwise?
But to me, I look at the positives of it. I think college football, period, has got away from tackling. Everybody's looking for the Sports Center hit. Nobody's tackling anymore on defense across the country. That drives me crazy, being a veteran defensive coach. So we've always enforced wrapping, but now I think we're really going to have to reinforce wrapping, because as long as you bring your arms, I don't think they're going to call targeting as long as they see the arms come, and it's not the launch. I think we'll get away with some, that's our out defensively. If you do end up high and it does happen all of a sudden and your reactions kick in, don't launch, wrap. And that's the way football should be played anyway. So we're taking that stance with it.